Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I'm so excited to be here tonight. We are going to be talking about living your best life, even if things are happening around you, even if you're scared, even if you're worried, even if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed. So, we're going to talk about living your best life, even if life has some issues around you. And as you are joining in, please do say hello. And as I'm waiting for you to say hello, I will go into our details. So, as I said, I am Colleen van der Zijden, and the name of the show is called Embracing Your Essence. It is all about you, who you are at your core, at your soul level, and embracing that part of you so you can live the best life that you possibly can. And every Tuesday, mostly, I'm on here talking about different things that you can do to help yourself feel like you are living your best life and some choices that you can make to help you. So, lilydaleassembly.org is where you are going to find all the summer events that are happening in Lilydale. And if you don't know, Lilydale is the largest spiritualist community in the world. And Lilydale Assembly Incorporated is the official Facebook page. And both of those pages will give you information about everything that is coming up this summer. They are currently uploading all of our workshops, and there are something like 250 of them. And they are also updating the website. So it's a bit by bit as it goes because it is pretty complicated, but it should be done within the next month or so, and that's very exciting. So I am Colleen van der Zijden, and I am a registered medium. I am a certified empowerment coach. I am the author of this book, Courageously You, Magical Mind Games to Get Unstuck and Reignite Your Joy. And it is my pleasure to be here with you. My website is colleenvanderzijden.com, and you can find out all of my events and all of that stuff there. Hi, Martin. Hi, Hillary. Hi, Dee. Nice to see you, and thank you all for joining me this evening. I do want to mention up at the top there is a link for a free gift for you, The Empowered Path to Inner Peace. And if you click on that, there's 9 ways to help you reclaim your power, basically, so you can have peace even during chaotic times. And in case you haven't noticed, we are in some chaotic times, aren't we? So, as I said, we are going to be talking tonight about living your best life, even if things are happening. So, we're going to live your best life, even if life is crazy, even if you're scared, you're worried, you're lost, you're overwhelmed. And we're going to talk about a strong couple suggestions to help you shift your perspective away from the fear, and so you can reclaim your power, and instead of being focused on the fear, going after your dreams, going after your goals. So we're going to talk about your dreams and goals a little bit as well, and what's in your way. And if you have a need for me to give you some intuitive guidance on whatever's happening in your life, you can let me know, and we're going to go from there. So I'm just going to check in with who is saying hello to me. Hi, Lori. I love that you're sharing your holiday with us. It's such a beautiful trip that you're on. Yes, we have one more week to go, and then we're starting the drive, so I will not be here next week. Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. And hi, Diane, as well. So nice to see you all here. So tonight, make sure you are on my page, Colleen van der Zijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach, because if you make comments, or if you want to have a mini reading later, or a soul reading, or you have a question, something you want to talk about, I just need to be able to see your comments while we do that. So let's get to our topic. Life, in case you have not noticed, and I'm sure you have, is particularly challenging these days, isn't it? There is so much happening. We have enormous amounts of uncertainty, and the fear of the unknown can be overwhelming. And on top of that chaotic energy that is surrounding us, many people are having personal problems and difficulties that are also weighing on them besides what's happening out there in the world. And I would say that many people are emotionally overloaded right now. People are struggling to feel peaceful and happy while navigating these very intense, uncomfortable energies that we are experiencing. And many people are also feeling scared over the rapid and profound changes that are happening in the world. Hi, Jan. Hi, Michelle. A friend was telling me that they were hesitant to do the things they really wanted to do. That feeling of, I don't know what's going to happen, so I should just stay home and do nothing, was basically what she was telling me. And it is kind of understandable. Have you guys been feeling some of this? Like that desire to just stay home and do nothing, not talk to anybody, not go anywhere, that kind of thing. Hi, Carol. And it is understandable, right? Because if we're feeling unsafe, we want to withdraw and disconnect. We want to get away from that kind of energy. And this can also feel not only that idea of not doing anything, it can feel like we want to run away, right? I want to run away, I need to get away. Or we give up on our dreams and our goals. And we might even tell ourselves, it doesn't matter, so why bother? Or I'll never be able to do it, so why try? And this whole thing, this idea of staying in our house and not talking to people or running away or giving up on our goals and dreams, is really an unconscious way of trying to protect our energy and help us cope with the fear and uncertainty. And the fear these days is rampant. It is all over the place. We have fear of the future. We have fear of finances. We have fear of being stuck in situations where we can't see a way out. And it can be a lot bit disconcerting and very worrisome. I'm checking here on just saying hellos again. Michelle says, I could do that every day. Not unsafe, but I feel that I need the quiet. And I think many of us can relate to that, right? So, and it's not necessarily, as she's saying, that we're feeling unsafe, but because the energy around us is so intense right now, you may find yourself really longing for that quietness, that solitude where you're not being disturbed by anyone or anything. When we are trapped in fear, we're focused externally. We're focused on what's happening around us. And when we do that, we get disconnected from ourselves. And when that happens, we feel lost. We lose our power and we feel lost and directionless. And in addition to that sense of wanting to withdraw or run away or hide, and this is important for our topic tonight of living our best lives, even if things are happening, we also tend to minimize the things we want out of life. It feels safer to set them aside as not that important. Or we tell ourselves that we can't do something for whatever reasons. Maybe we'll wait till later, we'll wait for another time, whatever it might be. And we can keep ourselves stuck in limbo, waiting for something to change before we start living our lives the way we want to. And what that means is we're actually sacrificing our present moments in a holding pattern. We're stuck there in a holding pattern and we're sacrificing our lives. Okay, so it's really interesting to see how we handle these things. And life is really too short to spend it stuck in fear and waiting for that perfect time to finally decide to live life on your terms. Sherry says, fears, fears, fears. Yes, I know what you mean, but spring is in the air, new beginnings, renewal. Yes, and that is true. Isn't it nice? And the energy is shifting, everybody. And I've been talking about this for a while. The energy is shifting. So this is excellent. So it's all good. Nonetheless, right, we do have a lot of people who are really struggling with the fear, really struggling with what's going on in the world, really struggling with their own lives, and are putting their lives on hold. Now, even if you're not putting your life on hold, what I'm going to talk about is going to help you actually expand your life so you can live an even better life. Even if your life today is amazing, perfect, wonderful, you have no wants, no needs, everything's great. Okay, we can still always make it even better. This does not mean that what you're experiencing, again, is not good enough or whatever, but sometimes we don't realize how much better things can be. So, because of this fear and the things that are happening, this is something I've been saying a lot to my groups, my coaching groups, and some of the classes I've been teaching, is I refuse, and you've heard me say it before, if you've ever watched me before, I refuse to let the fear stop me from living the life I want. I refuse to sacrifice my well-being and mental health by giving into that fear and letting that fear limit me in any way whatsoever. I refuse to let the uncertainty of the world move me into living a safe and small life, and you know what I'm saying, where I stay home doing nothing, because what that is existing. It's not living. And I want more than simply existing. I want to live and enjoy my life and really have it be the best thing ever. So no matter what's happening around you in your own personal life or the energy of the country or the world, give yourself permission to live your best life anyway, even if things aren't perfect, even if life is chaotic, even if you don't think you have enough money, even if you don't think you deserve it, or even if you're scared. whatever it is. And sometimes you might hear people think that we shouldn't be enjoying our lives while the world seems to be falling apart, right? Sometimes people think we should be stuck in fear, grief, worry, which is so odd to me. Like, why? And sometimes people will judge us for living our best lives and saying things like, if you're not mad or scared or whatever, you're not paying attention. I'm sure you've seen some of those posts on social media where it's like, well, if you're not doing this, then you're not paying attention. It's a very kind of judgmental post, you know? We can understand that there are big problems in the world that are scary and worrisome. We can have empathy and compassion for other people and their situations, and we can help in any way we can, right? We can be proactive in helping and being there to help people. However, if we give into that fear and we sacrifice our lives, we sacrifice our peace, our joy, we put our life on hold while we're waiting for things to magically get better, we become powerless and miserable. And this does not improve our own lives, and it certainly does not improve the world's energies. So if you are just joining in, we are talking tonight about living your best life, even if things are happening. Okay, so Lisa, I just did this in November. I took the chance and moved back to Buffalo after 50 years. Wow, that's amazing and awesome. Hi, Jeannie. So we want to live our best lives no matter what's going on. We don't want to give into the fear. We don't want to give into the worry. So we want to be intentional about shifting our perspectives out of focusing on the fear or whatever's wrong, and instead we're going to prioritize yourself and the life you want to live. And when we focus on and emphasize the amazing life that we want, we strengthen our power. And then we decided to be courageous in going after the life we want. So we see the fear, we see the worry, and we do it anyway. We take the risk and go for it. We believe in ourselves enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, enough to give ourselves permission to go after that best life that we want. We love ourselves enough to stop settling for less than what we really want. I have heard so many people say to me, well, I can't do that because this is happening. I can't do that because this is happening. And I'm thinking, really? Are you really going to put your life on hold like this? Like, don't do it. Life is too short. Melody, I don't feel like I have a purpose. Ooh, Melody. Now I'm going to do a digression for a minute, you guys, before I get back to my topic here. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. What I like to say about purpose is whenever we think about a purpose, we always think about something big, gigantic. You know, we've got to do a foundation, save the world, whatever kind of thing. When really our purpose is who we are. What kind of person are we? Are we kind, caring, compassionate? That's who we'd want to be, right? Loving, all of those things. That's who we are. That's what our purpose is. And then we live our lives. We do whatever we do with that energy. And of course, we want to do things that are fulfilling to us, that give us meaning. And they are interrelated, of course. But I will just mention that and then I'll get back to my topic. Because purpose is, there's a certain feeling, you know, when we're living that life of meaning where we feel really good about ourselves. Okay, so we are going to rebalance our perspective away from fear and toward your goals and dreams. Okay, so I want you to start right now thinking about what is your goal? What is your dream? What you really want out of life? Okay, and as you're starting that, I'm going to remind you where I am and all that stuff. I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. We're talking about living your best life. And if you want to make a comment, you want to ask a question, later on I'm going to be doing some personal guidance. If you have issues, you want to talk about your dream and goal and how it's not working, I can talk more about having a purpose, those kinds of things. I'll also do some mini readings. So if you're interested in something like that, you will need to be over here on my Facebook page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach, so I can see your comments. Okay, I cannot see them if you're on the Lilydale Assembly page, nor can I see them if you're on the Soul Empowerment Community page. Okay, so there we are. And I'm just going to talk a little bit more here, not too long tonight. So thinking about your dreams, your goals, I like to use the phrase dream big. I've used it in my book. I've used it in my coaching groups. I use it in my Reimagine Your Life retreat. We want to dream big. So I want you to think about, and this is to help you create your best life. Okay, the whole point of my doing this, create your best life. Don't let fear get in your way. So what has been in your mind on and off over the years. I've had so many people say to me, well, I wanted to do this, and it comes and it goes and it comes and it goes, but it keeps coming back, right? So what keeps coming back in your head? What idea excites you? When you look at your life and you think about the future, what do you want it to look like? So one of my other favorite phrases, and some of you have heard this before, is if you could do anything you wanted and know you would succeed, what would you do? I find that phrase, that question, moves me into that sense of limitless thinking. That thinking of, okay, nothing's in my way. I could do whatever I want. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And that can help you start looking at, what is your dream? What is your goal? So what do you want out of life? What's most important? Here's a fun one. What idea, what dream do you have that seems too big to accomplish, like too out of reach, maybe even impossible? I have found that when we look at it that way, because what happens, right? We have a dream, a goal, a thought, and we immediately start talking ourselves out of it. Oh, that's impossible. It will never happen. But here's the thing. If it's something like that, and it seems impossible, it's usually a really important one. And it's something that would give your life even more meaning or more fun. It could be a physical goal like writing a book or going to Hawaii. It could be spending more time with family or friends, or simply having fun. It could be having more space in your life to play in your garden or take a walk. It could be feeling more joy, more peace, or freedom, having that sense of freedom. To rebalance our perspective away from fear, it's helpful to have an idea of where we're heading, where we want to go. This doesn't mean we're absolutely going to make it to that one, because we might find something even better along the way. But it's nice to have a goal, a dream, or something that we're moving toward. And we don't have to know the whole story. We don't have to know how we're going to get there. All we have to know is what it is we're moving toward. Okay, now, as you guys, I'm going to scroll back here and see what you're talking about. The day after my cat King was rehomed, the apartment building owner called and said they have a vacancy coming up in June. This was perfect for me, as it was the building I had chosen that I wanted to live in. It's located on Church Street, and there is an old church at the corner of the street, which I love as my landmark for getting to my new home. Seems like divine timing with all this. I love this. I did have my moments of fear and listened to what you kept telling us, to trust that all is well and will work out for our highest good. It feels like I am becoming alive again after all these years of isolation. I love that, Lori. Right? It's so important for us. We want to feel alive again, and just trust the process of life. Trust we're going to be led. Trust we're going to be shown. And life does involve some fear, right? But again, we see the fear and we do something anyway. We don't let it limit us in our lives. Let's see. Oops, scrolling on me without my intention. Yes, Lynn is saying so many things happening lately. Lost her husband, her dog, her son needed a kidney, waiting for probate court, trying to stay positive. So yes, we want to focus on that, focus on the good things. And so we're going to talk about a couple things to think about that may help. Okay. Lori says, I see myself surrounded with like-minded friends living a life with joy and inner peace. Now that is a great goal, and I'll come back to that in a bit, Lori. And if I don't, just post something again and I'll catch it. When we think of our big goals, our dreams, our humanness, again, we think about the physical things we want to create, which are wonderful and great to have. But we also want to consider the other parts of our goals, how we want to feel. Okay. Lori's mentioning joy and inner peace, right? We want to have that, because when we recognize this helps us take action. Because if we're unsure of what our next physical step is, and so let's say for Lori, she wants to have more joy and inner peace, so she's going to make choices that are going to bring her more joy and more peace. So people who are obnoxious, she might try to avoid them so that it doesn't ruin her inner peace. See what I'm saying? So we want to use this. And when I do my Reimagine Your Life retreat, that's a lot of what we do in there, is getting the feeling of what our ideal life is, and then moving in that direction, releasing whatever's in our way. And this is how we do create our best lives. We create them by giving an idea to ourselves, by embracing those dreams and goals and going, okay, this is what I want. And even if we don't, again, know what our dreams and goals are, if we move toward the feeling we want and being patient, because our humanists, we are not very good at being patient, just being patient, and then the answer is going to come to you. Okay, it will come to you. It always does. So what we want to do is when we have that idea of what we're going toward, whatever I start talking about this is exactly what happens every single time. And I'm sure somebody out there is doing what I'm going to say in 2 seconds here. It usually leads, I'll say, we're going after your dream, we're going to go after your goal. And because it feels impossible, or because we don't know how to get there, right? So we've got a little bit of hesitation on that. It usually leads someone to what I call the buts, okay? The excuses that start with, but I can't because. Okay, but I can't because. These thoughts stop us before we even start. They stop us from going after our dreams because we're like, well, I can't do that. So why bother? I'm not going to do it now, right? But here's the thing. I can't because I don't have enough money. Okay, of course, we're hearing a lot of that, and some people really don't have enough money, right? But here's the thing, right? I have this dream, I have this goal. Let's just pick going to Hawaii as just an example. I want to go to Hawaii, but I can't because I don't have enough money. Now, here's where I go, is that really true? Or is it something that's limiting us? So what could we start saving a little bit of money here and there and put it in a Hawaii fund, right? And if it's something you really want, if it's something really important to you, would you be able to do that? And again, I'm not discounting that some people have some very real financial issues, right? That's obviously, right? A lot of people do. And maybe we really don't have any extra money, not even a quarter to spare to put in a little fund. But what we can do instead is rather than giving up on that dream, setting it aside and talking ourselves out of it, is we want to hold on to that dream or goal and hold on to the hope. Because even if it seems impossible right now, things are always changing. And frequently, the impossible does become possible. And you might even know some things or can think of some things in your life that you thought were impossible, and then it actually worked out, right? Sometimes people say, I can't because I don't know how. Okay, but I can't because I don't know how. Well, we don't know a lot of things. We don't know how to do a lot of things, but we can always find out how, right? So then the question again becomes, do you really want this? Are you willing to learn more about it? And that the I can't can turn into I can't because it's too hard. And again, which certainly can be true. Maybe it is hard. Maybe it's a difficult decision. Maybe you just don't have enough information. Well, we've got Google. We can look everything up these days. Do you want it anyway? So we want to look at our language, like what is stopping us from living our best lives? Is it the fear? What is it? What are you telling yourself? But I can't do that because. Sometimes the but means that we really don't want it. We say we want something, but we really don't. And that's not our priority. Because if we did want it, we'd start looking at it more realistically and going, you know what, I do want that. And there is a way to move in that direction. We absolutely can do that. So if you catch yourself naming a dream or a goal and then saying, but I can't, learn from the buts. What are you telling yourself? Why are you talking yourself out of something? The way things are now in the world, there is so much chaos out there. There is so much uncertainty. There is so much that's unknown that energy is overwhelming us. And some people are moving into a state of paralyzed, whatever. They're just paralyzed. And they cannot think clearly right now because it's too much. So in that case, how are we going to live our best life? Okay, we're going to recognize, okay, I feel paralyzed. I don't know what's happening. I feel stuck. I'm scared. And we're just going to go, that's how I'm feeling, and just name it. And when we name how we're really feeling, it diffuses the emotions and we feel better. And I talked about that today a little bit in my newsletter. It diffuses it, and then our brain clears a little bit. I really like what I'm talking about tonight of thinking about our dreams and our goals and using them as motivation, if you will, to move in a different direction, to get away from the fear. Okay, we can still, again, it might be in the background, but we don't want it so in our face. So we shift our perspective intentionally and we go, what is it I really want? and we move toward that. So write in the comments. I want to know what you think your best life would be. And we know Lori's already talked about wanting like-minded friends and living a life with joy and inner peace. Okay, I'm going to check the comments for a second. And then Lisa says, I had to leave Florida. I wasn't at peace. Had to leave her kids, grandkids, dogs, even though I miss them so much. I was afraid to because I'd always been their rock, and then the fear of what if I can't find a job? I've never driven in the snow or even lived in the snow, etc. But here I am 4 months later, and everything is okay, right? Sometimes our fear is bigger than the reality, right? We catastrophize, we look for worst case scenarios, and they're not that bad. So in about a minute or two, we are going to, I can do mini soul readings with you. We can talk about personal guidance. If you have a goal or a dream and you feel stuck, you feel blocked, you're not really sure what to do, you want to talk about that, write it in the comments. Again, you need to be on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Empowerment Coach. If you're on Lily Dale's page or if you're on the Soul Empowerment Community page, just go to the top where I posted and you'll see my name. And so you can click on that and that'll take you over here if you're not over here yet. Okay, and so we're going to do that. So it is very interesting to see, well, see people talk themselves out of their dreams, talk themselves out of feeling better. And now there are some people who really like to be miserable. And so they're like, oh no, I'm never going to do that, never going to do that. And they're so enmeshed with that idea that they can't even consider that there's a different way to do it. So anyway, yeah. So pay attention to how you're living, how you're acting. We do not have to give up living our best life because there's stuff happening in the world. We really don't. We absolutely don't. So let's see. Audra, so much uncertainty with my future. Shocking news in two different aspects. Oh, one very hurtful. One has to do with family being pulled in different directions. Buffalo, North Carolina, California. Not sure which way to go. My dream is to feel really loved and wanted. So Audra, okay. Now, whenever someone tells me that, two things. One, when we're feeling pulled in different directions. Okay, there's one part there that will address. And then the other part, I'm writing it down so I don't forget, pulled in different directions. And the other part, my dream is to feel really loved and wanted. Whenever I hear someone say that, or anything even remotely related to that, I always wonder about how much we love our own selves, how much we give ourselves that self-care and that self-love. And I usually, in my coaching programs and my retreat as well, we talk about different ways that we can honor ourselves, honor our wants and needs, be kind to ourselves, be compassionate to ourselves, show ourselves love. Frequently, we're looking for love from outside of us, right? We want other people to love us, and we want other people to really want us and want to spend time with us. And those are beautiful and valid. Okay, we absolutely need that kind of thing in our lives. In order to increase that, we want to make sure we're loving ourselves as much as possible. And that helps, okay? So make decisions that are rooted in love. In my coaching program this year, we had a lot of people who were talking about loving themselves was their goal, right? I love myself. And when we take an intention like that, we work with that. So when we make decisions, we go, is this showing love to myself? Okay, and this is not a egotistical, selfish, we're ignoring everybody else thing. Because of course, if we love other people, we're going to share love with them as well. But we want to make sure we're loving ourselves as well. It's important. The other thing is, I mean, with the shocking news and the things that are happening and your family being pulled in different directions and stuff, sometimes there's things that we cannot fix ourselves. We cannot fix them, and we have to let it unfold as it does. In that case, we're going to trust the outcome. We're going to trust we're going to be led where we need to go. We're going to give up our human impatience and allow it to unfold as it does. In the meantime, we're as kind and caring to everyone involved that we can be, of course. And if we personally do not have to make a quick decision, we stop trying to make a decision. Sometimes when things are like this, we feel like we have to fix it and come up with an answer immediately. And I usually tell people just stop that. Just set that part aside and just don't even do that part. And just literally, we're going to trust it's going to unfold while you're being kind and caring. And I am so sorry that there's so much going on there. It does not sound like a good situation at all. If you don't have to make a choice right away, again, don't make the choice right away. Let things settle in, because we cannot make good choices when we are overwhelmed with shock or uncertainty or hurt or pain. We cannot. So we have to sit with it, just let it be, acknowledge your emotions, and then eventually the emotions will diffuse and you'll start to feel better. And then the answers will come. And they do. They always do. Sometimes we wait, but they do come. Michelle, she says, I have picked joy. I do feel almost paralyzed at times. I know I'm guided, but I don't know what the next step is. And that's our humanness, Michelle, right? We want to know what our next step is. And what I like to do is just let things play in my head without any attachment to needing to know what the answer is. This is so against our humanness, our soul part, right? Our humanness is like, I need to know, I need to know. But we don't have to know right away. So, yeah, I would let things play in your head and see again what feels right. And two, part of it is you're waiting for your house to sell and all of that stuff, and that will probably also, because that's kind of hanging over you too, so it's kind of clogging the energy a little bit. But I would just wait. I was talking to, we were talking to the soul empowerment community last night. We had a call last night, and we were talking about the one thing I mentioned was living as our soul. We want to live in trust. We want to trust we're always going to be guided. And Michelle knows she's guided. So then our human part, we need to let go of wanting to know what's next. And that's a little bit trickier, but just we keep reminding ourselves, I trust, I trust, I trust. Brooke, oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. I'm glad to be here. I'm having fun talking about different things and seeing what my guide likes to say. Naomi says, I feel like that's what I do. Change is scary. I wish I could look into the future to see if the decision I'm trying to decide is the right one. I know, right? You're not alone with that. So many people, even people when they come for readings, they'll be saying, okay, what's going to happen? And I'm like, I don't know, However, if I feel things, I do tell people, okay, well, I'm feeling this, I'm not feeling that, whatever. And when we want to look into the future, what we're looking for is reassurance. We want somebody or something or the crystal ball to say this is going to happen so that we will feel better in this moment. And it's easier to be in that uncomfortable state if we know the end result is going to be what we want, right? So we are all learning to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that we're learning to trust and see what happens. And this is something I've been saying a lot. Let's just see what happens. Because when we do that, we're not attached necessarily. Now, going back to talking about earlier, the goals and the dreams, we want the goals and dreams, but we don't want to be so attached to them that we miss other opportunities that come up. Or if it doesn't work exactly the way we thought it does, we get upset about it. So I have this goal and I'm working toward it, but I'm open to, as we like to say, something even better out there. So if you don't have to make a decision, to Naomi, like I was telling the other person, stop thinking about it. Okay, if you don't have to do it right away, lots of times I'll tell clients, okay, wait 3 weeks or a month or whatever. And just every time you start thinking about, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, just set it aside and go, I'm not going to decide. So today is March 24th. So I would say, let's say April 17th. We'll just pick a random date. So on April 17th, I'm going to think about it and see what happens. Lots of times between now and that date, it has sorted itself out all on its own. And we didn't have to get stuck in our worries and our stress in our head trying to figure it out. We figured it out. It worked it out. Or the answer became so obvious. And when we get to that date, and if we still don't know the answer, we can decide to think about it that day and worry about it all we want. Or we can decide, you know what, I'm going to wait another couple of weeks and see, because it may sort itself out. Another thing, Naomi, is that Greg, my husband, is fond of saying, nothing a U-turn can't fix. So very few of our decisions are permanent. Very few of them. And lots of times we can go in this direction, make the decision, and then we find out it's not quite right. And then we can turn around, make a different choice, go in a different direction. I have the belief system that everything I do, even if I think it's the wrong answer or I made a mistake or something, actually is another step on my path, even if I think, oh man, that was crazy. I shouldn't have done that. But I learned something. So it was important to have that experience as I made my next choice, my next decision. So, in some ways, I don't think that there are wrong steps, which is probably an interesting perspective for a lot of people, right? Tracy. Hi, Tracy. How are you? I feel so blocked lately that I find it difficult to focus on anything but the task at hand, much less dreams for the future, because it feels like getting through the days and meeting the daily obligations take up most of my energy reserve. I know that has to change, but the block keeps on blocking. Oh, how frustrating, right? How frustrating. Number one, remember, and this goes for everybody, remember that we are going through that consciousness shift. I've been talking about it for like years now. We've been going through this shift where we're moving into a new way of living, a higher vibrational way, one that's more focused on oneness and our connections with each other, more focused on love and kindness and everything. And this energy, the consciousness shift, plus we put in all that chaotic energy, which goes with the consciousness shift, that energy is so intense right now that maybe before we could handle two or three things, but now we can only do one thing. We can only focus on one thing because we're using our energy simply to get through the day. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with you, Tracy, or anybody else if you're feeling overwhelmed and can only do one thing at a time. It's the energy. We're totally blaming it on the energy, and it's true. Okay, so getting through the days, right? Some of us are in survival mode. We're just doing what we have to do to get through the day, right? And we know things have to change, but the block keeps on blocking. And what we do when that's happening, and I'm going to be teaching a class called Unstuck and Free. I think it's going to be called Unstuck and Free pretty soon, but I'll give you a heads up and a little bit of what I'm going to talk about in there. What we're going to do to get unstuck in this case is we're going to accept that we feel stuck. We're going to accept that the block is there. Okay? Our humanness wants to force it to change. Our humanness wants it to go away because it's uncomfortable or unpleasant. And we're frustrated because we're not moving forward like we want to move forward. So we are just going to simply accept, okay, it appears that I might be blocked. It appears my energy isn't quite helping me right now. It appears I'm struggling to get through the day. And that's just the way it is. If we can accept that that is how we're feeling without getting more upset about it or more emotionally entangled, if we can go, okay, it's simply this is the way I'm feeling. Kind of like when I talk about intuition. When we talk about intuition, intuitive moments, intuitive messages come in very factual. Okay, they're not tied to emotion. So if we accept this, we go, okay, I'm apparently blocked. And we just accept it without going, I'm blocked. I can't believe I'm blocked. I've been trying to get unblocked for years. I can't believe I can't figure it out. I should be able to figure it out. And that's what our human part does. So we're going to accept that. The other thing, Tracy, is if you're available, you might want to come to the retreat in Niagara Falls, May 29th through 31st. It's all about letting go of the blocks and getting more clarity on the ideal life so we can move toward it. So that might help. We're doing some energetic things, some healing things, some fun things to help us shift our energy. It's going to be very healing and very transformative. And if you can come, you might really enjoy that. Make sure you check the Soul Empowerment community for the discounted link. But yeah, so really so much of what I'm saying to you, Tracy, is giving yourself grace. And going, you know what? I'm feeling stuck. Okay. I'm feeling stuck. And you go there. And then you just let it be. Back to what I said to the other person, that sometimes things work themselves out on their own. I tried to get a message. I tried to get the answer to something for 4 years. 4 years. I was like, I want this. I don't know how to get there. Da, 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 da. I'm waiting to be shown, waiting to be shown. 4 years. And then eventually I got the message and it was very clear. And I actually said to myself and my guides, I was like, really? You couldn't have told me that like, I don't know, 3 years ago? And the guides and everybody, they just laugh because they're like, Everything is in divine order. Everything is in divine timing. If I had gotten the message earlier, I might not have believed it. So I was at the right place at the right time and believed it. So patience sometimes. I'm not saying your block is going to last for 4 years, Tracy. Not at all. Okay. So acceptance. You are welcome, Audra. Melody. My dream is what I already have, but I need it to continue. A healthy and loving family. But I need out of my own anxiety, depression things. Yeah. This goes back to what I was saying to somebody else earlier about loving ourselves, right? And accepting how we're feeling. And of course, obviously, but I will say it, even if it is obvious to many people, if we're really struggling with our anxiety or depression or something like that, then we should absolutely find a licensed professional counselor or therapist to help us process things. I think many of us these days have a lot of anxiety because there is so much unknown and we don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of us may have some sadness and depression because there's so much change going on and we feel out of control and helpless. So there is that again. I'm going to blame it on the energy that's around us. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you. There isn't. It's just the way it is. And so what you'll want to do, because you already have your dream, a healthy and loving family, and you want it to continue, you want to do the grateful list, the gratitude list, right? I am grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. And every time your mind starts going to, what if something happens? What if, somebody gets sick? What if this happens? Because that's just fear, right? We know it's just fear. So we're just going to set it aside. It's just details. Set it aside. And every time your mind goes to that, you say you're grateful for something. I am grateful for my loving family. I am grateful that I have a wonderful life. I am grateful for this flower. I am grateful for this. I am grateful for that. If you are persistent with this, whenever your mind starts going to anxiety or depression, you will immediately be able to turn it around because you'll be using your power to turn it around. When we have anxiety or depression, our mind, oh man, it just goes down that rabbit hole, doesn't it? And before we know it, one little thought and we have spiraled down. But if we can catch it as soon as possible, then you're back in your power and you're going to choose gratitude instead. That will help. We need to rebalance your perspective because the fear is you're going to lose something that you have, which is actually ruining your today moments and your present moments. So you want to acknowledge the beautiful present moments that you have. This is powerful. It's so simple. And people are like, oh, I know that, but they don't do it. It is so simple, so easy, so powerful, and highly effective for changing your mindset. It works. So definitely try it. Definitely. I wouldn't even say try it. Do it. It will help. Michelle, making her take the pen again. Yes. Brooke, what does my guide have to say today? Well, I'll tell you what my guide has to say about you, because the first feeling I had with you was there was this sense of, how can I put this? It's connection. It's a sense of connection with other people. It's a sense of connection with your guide, spirits, angels, universe, all those things. And I am feeling with you, and I have to tell you, it's really quite beautiful. I am feeling this expansive energy with you. I'm getting a very strong impression that it's almost like you have moved into a new you. Okay, that I don't know if something's happened or it's a natural evolution. I have no clue. But there is this feeling of you moving into the newer version of you, the best self that you are, and that you're continuing to expand upon that, recognizing there's even more to be had, that there's even more joy and love to be had and more connection. It is very important for you, apparently, to be there for other people, to facilitate connections, to keep people feeling connected. You must be somebody who does bring people together. And there is this, you're very intuitive and empathic as well. You probably know that. And there is that sense, I've got to go back to the expansion is so strong. I'm assuming, and you can let me know in a minute if I'm correct, there is this sense with you of really stepping into the metaphysical fields. Okay, mediumship, healing, energy work, those kinds of things. Very strong sense there. And if you're not, you might check into what aspect of the metaphysical world is appealing to you and pursue that because your energy is just really, really strong, really strong. I'm loving this. It's really beautiful. So you're in a good place. Whew, that's what it feels like. I love it. I love it. So keep going. Keep doing that. Lori, I found that if I followed what I was inspired to do, that the next step would appear again as another inspiration, and slowly I was led to leaving a house I lived in for 30 years. It was a trust and surrender process. And the wisdom of Lori right there, everybody pay attention to that. That is exactly something I would have said, right? We do one step and then the next one comes. I've been talking a bit about what I call pop-ins, which are when thoughts pop into our heads. And if you think about it, if you think back on your life, you will find so many times that a thought just popped into your head. And maybe it was you went and did something, or you got in your car and drove someplace and then ran into your best friend who you hadn't talked to in 2 weeks. And there they were in this random parking lot or whatever. So I call them pop-ins, which are those intuitive messages, that guidance we get from our spirits, our guides, our angels. We get that guidance. And so it proves that throughout our lives, we have always been guided. Okay, these thoughts that pop in. So think about that. Like, go back on your life and look at some things, right? And that reminded me, Lori, with your comment about take a step and then the next one appears, right? So we do it. It's our human part. We're just in such a rush all the time. There's another class I teach called Urgency Detox, helping people get out of the urgency vibe. You are welcome, Naomi. Hi, Meridel. Nice to see you. Jan, when I followed the directions, sat back and trusted, opened myself and my heart, everything fell into place, as it was always supposed to. Group guidance here has helped me do that, and gratitude always, even on the worst days. You know, it really is the simplest of things that make our lives better. The simplest of things. Like, listen to what Jan said, right? Sat back and trusted. Now, trusted, we understand the concept. In practice, it's not always as easy as we'd like, right? Because we are human. But if we're committed to that, committed to living a life of trusting, we will be led to where we are supposed to be. We will. It's a fact. It's just the way it is. So, and she's like, open myself and my heart, and everything fell into place, right? Where she's living from love. When we live from love to the best of our abilities, we don't have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. We do it to the best of our abilities. We will have an amazing life. We really will. Thank you for all this from Tracy. This big heavy sigh just felt good. Oh, good. Whew, isn't it nice? Sometimes sometimes I think we just need to know that we're not alone in how stuck we feel, or we're not alone in our fears, and we're not alone in wanting to have a better life, but at the same time we're feeling conflicted with it because should I not, and just knowing that we're all going through the same thing at the same time, slightly unique for each one of us, but we're doing the same thing, and that really helps us. Okay, and it's also really important that we find places where we are safe to be ourselves. We are safe to say the things we want to say, where we're safe to ask questions without judgment. And that's what my space here is in this Facebook page, right? I want to make everybody feel safe and welcomed so that they can ask questions, so they can see they're not alone, and to see that we have all the support here for each one of us and how connected we all are. And for those of you who are looking for more and more of that kind of thing, I have lots of things that can help you with that, workshops, all that stuff that can help, because my passion, my purpose, literally, this is my purpose in life, is to help people realize how amazing they are. How cool is that, right? And I have, thank God, thank goodness for me, I have this amazing ability to see who somebody really is at their soul level. Like, I can see who you are. I know your potentials. I know how amazing you are. And sometimes it's really helpful to have someone like me who can kind of go, no, you're looking at that a little bit unhelpfully. That's not a good sentence, but you know what I mean, right? Let's look at it a different way and recognize really how powerful you are. Let's recognize how amazing you are. Let's recognize you deserve to have an amazing, wonderful, loving, beautiful, gorgeous life. You deserve all that. And sometimes it's very helpful to have somebody who can reflect that back to you. And it's wonderful to find these safe spaces where you're allowed to do that and be that. And if you want to join me at the Reimagine Your Life Retreat at the end of May, that's what we're going to do. And everybody gets lots of personal guidance from me, and it's so much fun. It's all about reimagining your life and going after your ideal life and letting go of whatever's in your way. That's what it is. If you want to know more about it, put retreat in the comments and I'll send you the info. inexpensive. We're in Niagara Falls, New York, and the hotel is so inexpensive. I can't believe it. And it's going to be so much fun. But if you want to join us, join us. Kara, good evening. Trying to stay focused on task at hand, positive, but my emotions are all over the place. Started meditating, and that seems to help some. Wondering if you have any guidance for me. Kara, you are not alone with that. So many people are saying the same thing. I was even experiencing it myself the other day, right? Because the energy is wacko. And it's like 1 minute we're up, 1 minute we're down. Oh, we're happy, we're not. Something happens, little thing, and we feel sad. And then another thing, we're really happy. I mean, it's craziness. So meditating is wonderful. Sometimes we find it hard to meditate because we can't quiet our mind enough to meditate. So if that is the case for anybody, not just Kara, but if that's the case, make sure when you're meditating, you're focusing on something, not just empty my mind, because that's not going to work at all. So focus on your breath, focus on your body and how your body feels, and just keep bringing your mind back to that as you're doing it. And that it will calm you down. And it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes before our mind relaxes enough for us to sit in it and really start to feel connected and stuff. So that will help. So Kara, you're definitely on the right track with that. And what's really interesting popping into my head is all of a sudden my fingers wanted to move. Whenever I get that fingers wanting to move things, it always reminds me of creating something, that I want to create something. I want to make something. I want to do something with my hands. So I want to know if you are doing anything in terms of creativity. Are you making things? You can't be gardening yet if you're up north, but soon, if you're doing something like that. Creativity, some people think they're not creative. Everybody's creative in some way. And when we think of creativity, so frequently we think of painting or singing or writing, and those are definitely creative. But there are other ways we are creative as well. But anyway, creativity is an expression of our soul. When we're doing something creative, our soul connection, our channel gets stronger, and we can get more intuitive guidance. We can get more connection with our loved ones on the other side, our guides, our angels, all of that stuff. So creativity is coming in for you, Kara. And now I'm wondering if also related to that. Sorry, my guide is talking so fast right now. My head is like blah, 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 blah. I'm wondering about writing. Okay, so maybe some writing with you, like inspirational writing where you're just like letting it flow. Give that a shot. Let me know how it goes. Okay, Melody. Yes. Good. Glad that made sense. Meridel says gratitude practice really does work. See, I'm not making it up. Meridel says it too, so it's true. Melody, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Oh, everything scrolled on me all of a second. Okay, Brooke, thank you. I'm always bringing people together. I knew it. I could just feel it with you. I also have a strong connection with someone that I need to bring together in person. Ooh. I've been exploring many aspects of metaphysical and need to figure out which way to go. The fun part about metaphysics is they all lead to each other. We all start out with crystals because aren't crystals fun, right? We love our crystals. So we start there, but then we go in other places. And so there's a lot of, I feel so much energy around you, Brooke. That is just really wonderful. Okay, let me scroll back and see what I missed because this thing just like took off on me without my awareness. Maybe my guide was moving it around for me. Could be. Well, let's go to Meridel. Any messages for me from the guides? Oh, this is fun. So, Meridel, the first thing that I felt was the joy that I know you have. Okay, the first thing I felt. And there was this sense, how am I going to describe this feeling? You know how like a spider web has so many parts and how things all connect together. Okay, so everything is connected, and what I'm seeing is this sense of new direction coming in. I don't know if you have anything planned with that, but it's like you've been working in so many different places, so many different areas, and they're all connected. Everything is connected, but there's a new thread, if you will, that is coming in. And I am curious about, literally, it feels like TV or videos. Are you, in the back of your mind or even the front of your mind, thinking about creating like more and more educational videos, inspirational ones, ones that are going to help other people. It feels like there's a new avenue there that is just unfolding right now. And my guide is really liking this. I like this flow. It feels like it's new, so I don't know if you're aware yet, but it'll be fun to see what happens, won't it? And it just feels like there's something to do with video, television, filming, something like this. Anyway, keep that in your head because the guides are very clear that there's something coming here with this. Okay, I'll stop there before I get myself into trouble with that. And I don't know if they want to have more to say anyway. Nope, that's it. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Let's see what happens. Okay. I'm scrolling. Oh, okay. What a great purpose. How can you order? What do you want to order, Shar? Mental, physical, and emotional fatigue, Jan says, right? So many of us have that. Breath work. So look at everybody. Now here, perfect example of what I was saying earlier, right? That we are here in this safe space where we can share ideas with each other, where people care for each other. We haven't met each other physically, so many of us. I've met some people, of course. But right in here, Lori Lynn's talking about breath work and how to do that. And people are sharing ideas on how to connect with guides and what to do and all of that. I mean, how beautiful is that? And this is what we need more of in this world. And that is what's happening with the consciousness shift. We are going into this, right? We are going into this where we are all connected and we recognize it and we're kind with each other. No more of this bullying and nastiness that's out there. Okay, I have done a side adventure and it has scrolled from me again. Meridel, I have too many projects. Yes, my podcast has been on hiatus and I want to start again. Do you do video with that too? Yeah, definitely it's video, something with the video. So it's important. It's very important, Meridel. Okay. No, yeah, we love to be your guests. Okay, Diane, does your guide have any messages for me today? You know what's fun too, everybody, is that you may have noticed that even though I might be answering somebody else's question or giving them a personal message, you will notice that there's pieces of truth or bits of inspiration within each message that applies to you. That can be helpful for you as well. Spirit and my guides, they do this on purpose because we want to reach as many people as possible to help them because, again, our goal is to help people live their best lives, right? I want you to live your best life. I really do. Like, I want to hear all about your life. I want you to message me and go, oh my gosh, this just happened and I'm so excited because I will be excited for you. So that's what we want. So pay attention when I'm talking to other people, as most of you do, I know. So Diane, yeah, I have to say the first thing I felt for you, I just felt like this. Okay, now this to me today, it changes. I just go with whatever pops in. I feel like I'm smoothing things out. I'm feeling like peace is coming back to me. I'm feeling I'm releasing and letting go of things. So you must be doing that. Okay, letting go of stuff, creating that peace, deciding what's most important, allowing the flow to be there for you, to take away what you don't need and to bring you what you do need. Ooh, that was a good sentence. Good sentence, guide. Thank you. And right, so we're allowing that flow to help us and to guide us. And I have such a sense from my guide about how important this is for you to be in that space, simply, literally being in that space, because I'm feeling that sense of trust for you, that you have been working with trust intentionally. And I feel you continuing to notice the synchronicities and the beautiful things that happen. I can see that is you're recognizing being in the flow and how it is helpful for you. Continue on with that. This is a very important message because it's an affirmation as to how you're living and how to continue living in that way moving forward, staying in that flow. Ooh, that was a good one, Diane. That was really good. I like that a lot. And so this is so much fun. Okay, good. Her thing is on YouTube. Yay! Okay, no wonder I was seeing it. I was like, what am I seeing? I love when that happens. So, what we want to do, everybody, right? And again, if you don't know who I am, if you've forgotten, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. My website, ColleenVanderzijden.com. You can see everything that I do. I have a platform mediumship mentoring program for people who are coming to Lilydale this summer and who want to get some personal guidance. It's personal guidance on how to improve your platform mediumship abilities. Whether or not you've ever done it doesn't make any difference. I guess I can take a beginner and make you really good at platform mediumship because my guide knows what to say to you. And I can, as I said, see who you are and your abilities. So you can do that. I've got lots of workshops happening this summer at Lilydale. I've got a Manifest Your Limitless Life workshop happening in May 8th or 9th, something like that. It's online as well as in person in Buffalo. And then, of course, my Reimagine Your Life retreat, which I would like to invite you all to come to. It's so much fun. I know you guys are like, oh, sure. No, but it really is. We're going to do sound healing. We are going to literally work on some energetic things. We do this really cool process where we get rid of our blocks and then we replace that space with other things that we really want, and it's so much fun. So let me know if you want to know more about that, or you can just go to my website and find it. I also have a Facebook event on there on describing it as well. So it's a fun time. So definitely join us. And what else am I doing? Oh, a transcendence class this summer. It's in person in Lilydale. And then Channel Your Inner Rebel. I'm going to Inner Rebel program is coming. And I have that Unstuck class is coming out eventually. I've been working on it, but I got waylaid with a couple of other technical issues that I had to deal with. So anyway, I've got lots of stuff coming up for you. If you, actually, since I'm talking about it, if you think of something you'd want me to talk about or teach, because this is basically a free class. I basically do a free class every week on my Facebook Live. I'm just teaching you whatever I can teach you to help you, again, live your best life. So it's free class. So if you have something you want me to talk about in particular, you have something that you want me to teach, just write it in the comments, because I do go through the comments. It usually takes me a day or two because Wednesday's kind of my day off because Tuesday is a busy day. But write it down and I'll add it to my list. And because you know what you need, sometimes more than I know what you need, even though I trust my guide to tell me, because my guide is amazing. Diane says, I have been letting go and clearing. Perfect. Awesome. Good, Kira. I will start journaling again. I also used to make jewelry. Ooh, how fun. That's awesome. Awesome. Kira, were you the one that had a job interview? All of a sudden that popped into my head. Was it you? I think it was. How did it go? Let me know. Anyway, okay, so here we are. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, Reimagine Your Life retreat in May, Niagara Falls. Check it out. If you want to know, again, write retreat in there and I'll let you know. And I will not be live next week because we are going to start the drive back north the next day and I have to pack. We have a lot of stuff. Okay, that was you. Did you get the job? Did you hear anything about it yet, Kara? Okay, keep writing even though I'm going to hang up because I'll see it tomorrow. Okay, thank you all for joining me this week. And ColleenVanderzijden.com, LilydaleAssembly.org. You can find out everything you need to know there in both places. Have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye.